Heterochromia. Before mirrors, before myths, before anyone ever wondered what beauty truly meant, there were eyes. Windows into the mind, lanterns of the soul. And in a few rare humans, those lanterns didn't match. This is heterochromia. It isn't rare because it's dangerous. It's rare because nature almost never colors outside the lines. Yet here it does, boldly, silently, beautifully. One eye carrying the depth of an ocean, the other holding the warmth of earth. Two worlds, one face. Only about 1 in 20,000 people carry this quiet mutation, a simple shift in pigmentation that rewrites the symmetry of the human face. There is no superpower here, no hidden weakness, just a genetic accident that looks like art. Some ancient cultures called it divine. Some believed it meant two spirits lived in one body, and others thought it was a gateway, a connection between what is seen and what is unseen. Heterochromia doesn't help you survive. It doesn't make you stronger. It simply makes you unforgettable. Polydactyly. Before tools, before weapons, before civilization shaped our hands into instruments of survival, there were fingers. 5, the universal number. 5, the default design of nature. But every so often, nature adds one more. This is polydactyly, a mutation older than agriculture, older than language, older than the idea of normal itself. It doesn't appear with thunder or prophecy. It arrives quietly in the womb as if evolution decided to experiment for a moment. An extra finger, an extra possibility, a reminder that the human blueprint is not fixed, it's flexible. Polydactyly occurs in about 1 out of every 500 births, yet it remains one of the most misunderstood mutations. Some see it as a flaw, some see it as a curiosity, and some cultures once believed it marked someone chosen, someone touched by the extraordinary functionally. It can be strong, weak, or symbolic, depending on how it forms. Sometimes it works like any other finger. Sometimes it's just a silent passenger. But its story is bigger than anatomy. It whispers a truth we often forget. Evolution is still writing, still shaping, still adding chapters we never expect. Polydactyly isn't a sign of what we were. It's a glimpse of what we might become. Golden blood. Rh null. Before we understood genetics, before we could name blood types, before medicine learned how to save lives, there existed a kind of blood so rare it almost felt mythical. This is golden blood, the Rh null phenotype. Not rare because it is weak, not rare because it is flawed, but rare because nature almost never dares to make something this universal. And this fragile, fewer than 50 people on Earth carry it, a biological miracle hidden in a world of billions. Golden blood has no Rh markers, none. It's the blank slate of humanity, compatible with almost every other blood type on the planet. Doctors call it a treasure. Hospitals call it a lifesaver. Scientists call it a genetic ghost. But its power comes with a price. If you have golden blood, you can save almost anyone, but almost no one can save you. A single accident, a single emergency, and the world must search across continents just to find a donor. Every drop is precious. Every donation is history being written in silence. Some call it divine. Some call it dangerous. But one thing is certain. Golden blood is not just rare. It is the closest thing humanity has to a universal key. Hyperthymesia, the never-ending memory. Before notebooks, before archives, before humanity learned to record its stories, memory was all we had. A fragile spark, a fading imprint, a moment slipping away as soon as it arrived. But in a few rare minds, memory never slips. It never dims. It never lets go. This is hyperthymesia, the ability to remember almost every day of your life with impossible clarity. Not just the big moments, not just the milestones, but the small, ordinary Tuesdays, the forgotten afternoons, the weather, the clothes, the emotions, all frozen in perfect detail. Only a few dozen people on Earth carry this mutation. a condition so rare it bends the limits of what the human mind was designed to hold. To them, dates are not numbers, they are portals. Open a year, open a day, and they step back into it, instantly. But memory this sharp is not a gift without a cost. They remember every joy, but also every wound, every argument, every mistake, every regret echoing forever with the same intensity it had the day it happened. There is no forgetting, no blurring, no mercy in time. Hyperthymesia proves something extraordinary. The human brain is capable of far more than we understand. But sometimes the mind that never forgets carries a weight the rest of us were spared. This mutation doesn't grant power. It grants permanence. A lifetime remembered too clearly. A story that never fades. A past that never lets go. A mutation so uncommon, it doesn't just rewrite biology. It rewrites destiny. Congenital analgesia. The body that feels no pain. Before medicine, before safety, before humans understood danger, pain was the first teacher. It warned us, protected us, shaped our survival. But in a few rare bodies, the warning system never turns on. This is congenital analgesia, the mutation that erases pain entirely. Not reduced pain, not delayed pain, no pain at all. Children born with this mutation can break a bone and never cry, touch a flame and never pull away, walk on an injury and never notice the damage deepening beneath the skin. It sounds like a superpower. It feels like a blessing. But in reality, it is one of the most dangerous mutations known. Fewer than 1 in a million people live with it. A genetic silence where alarms should be screaming. Pain is not the enemy. Pain is the guardian. The invisible shield keeping life in balance. Without it, survival becomes guesswork. A simple cut can turn deadly. A hidden infection can grow unnoticed. A broken bone can heal wrong because it was never protected. And yet, there is something profoundly human about this mutation. It reveals the truth we often resist. Pain is not just suffering. It is information. It is instruction. It is the body saying, wait, stop, protect yourself. Those who feel no pain live in a world without warnings. A world where every step demands caution, and every day carries risks the rest of us never think about. Congenital analgesia doesn't make you stronger. It doesn't make you fearless. It makes you vulnerable in ways most people could never imagine. A life without pain isn't freedom. It's survival without guidance. Tetrachromacy, the eyes that see beyond human limits. Before art, before pigments, before humanity learned to name the colors of the world, we all saw the same spectrum. The same reds, the same blues, the same fading line between sunset and night. But in a few rare eyes, the spectrum is wider. The world is richer. Color is deeper. This is tetrachromacy, a mutation that gives a human eye a fourth color receptor, allowing it to see shades most people never even know exist. Where others see one yellow, they see dozens. Where others see a flat green, they see layers, shadows, warmth, undertones hidden beneath the surface. Where others see ordinary light, they see entire textures of color woven inside it. Most people see about 1 million colors. A tetrachromat can see up to 100 million. But this mutation is subtle, quiet, invisible unless you know how to look for it. You won't notice it in their eyes, you'll notice it in their reactions. A paint shade that looks identical to everyone else looks completely different to them. A sunset is not orange, it's a symphony. A flower is not red, it's a spectrum wrapped inside a single petal. Tetrachromacy is more common in women, but fully activated tetrachromacy, the ability to actually access this expanded color world, is incredibly rare. It is not a superpower, it is not a mutation of strength or weakness, it is a different way of seeing beauty. A reminder that reality is bigger than our senses, and sometimes one small genetic twist opens a door into a world the rest of us will never fully experience. Tetrachromacy proves a simple truth. not every mutation changes your body. Some change your perception, quietly reshaping the way you see the universe. Blue skin syndrome, the blood that turns the body blue. Before modern medicine, before chemistry, before we understood oxygen itself, there were families whispered about in old towns and mountain valleys, families whose skin carried the color of twilight. This is blue skin syndrome, a mutation where the blood changes and the body follows. It begins deep inside the bloodstream where hemoglobin, the molecule that should carry oxygen, transforms into something different, something slower, something darker. With less oxygen flowing through the veins, the skin takes on the shade of the sky just after sunset. Soft, cool, unmistakably blue, not bright, not neon, but a quiet, dusky blue that looks almost unreal. Only a handful of families in history have carried this mutation. The most famous lived in the hills of Kentucky, a lineage of blue-skinned humans who became legends long before they became a medical case study. But the mutation itself is not magic. It is chemistry. A single missing enzyme that changes how the blood works, how the body breathes, how the world sees you. Life with blue skin syndrome is not dangerous when treated, but untreated, it can lead to fatigue, breathlessness, and a constant battle for oxygen. And yet, there is something deeply human in this condition. A reminder that our colors are written not by destiny, but by molecules, tiny decisions inside the cells that shape how we appear to the world. Blue skin syndrome doesn't create superpowers, it doesn't create monsters. It creates stories. Stories of families who lived on the edge of myth and science. A mutation so rare that when it appears, it turns the human body into a living echo of the evening sky. Unbreakable bones. The bones that refuse to break. Before armor, before steel, before we learned to protect ourselves, our bones carried the weight of survival. They held us upright, carried our bodies through storms, accidents, battles, and sometimes they failed. But in a handful of humans, failure is not an option. This is the unbreakable bones mutation, a rare genetic twist in the LRP5 gene that makes bones almost impervious to breaking. These bones don't just resist fractures, they defy the risks that would cripple ordinary humans. They carry the weight of impact, of falls, of pressure that would shatter a normal skeleton. Only a few cases are known in history. Only a few people have ever walked the earth with bones stronger than steel. Every step, every jump, every collision is survived where most would be broken. But this mutation is not just a gift. It is a statement of nature's subtle artistry. Strength comes at a cost. Sometimes the rest of the body cannot keep up. Sometimes muscles, joints, or tendons strain under the unnatural resilience. Even perfection carries its own hidden risks. Unbreakable bones are more than anatomy. They are a story of human endurance written in the blueprint of DNA. A reminder that evolution doesn't just survive, sometimes it experiments. Sometimes it creates legends in the body itself. These bones don't bend, they don't break. They endure, silently, invisibly, extraordinarily. A mutation so rare it makes ordinary humans seem fragile in comparison. A mutation that whispers to history, what we imagine as impossible can live quietly within us.
If you enjoyed this, like, share, and subscribe for the next one.